the discussion questions were, which objects are interacting? Could any two objects be thought of as a single object? Why? And how do we show the interacting objects in the diagram? Going back to the idea of making a system schema. So you have come up with your own individual system schemas, then you discuss it with your table partner using those 3 questions as a guide. And here is one possible answer. So we have Albert, who is one of the objects. So he is in a circle. We have the bike, which is another one of the objects, again in a circle. We have the street or the road or the path, whatever you chose to call it, also in a circle as a separate object. And then the Earth's field is always indicated as well as the object. So we have each of those 4 objects in their own circles, indicating that they are separate and distinct objects. And then we have the interaction shown with the arrows. So Albert is interacting with the bike because he's pedaling the bike to get the bike going. We have the bike interacting with the street because obviously the bike is touching the street and moving across the street. And the street and the bike and Albert are all interacting with the Earth's field. So they are all being affected by gravity, so therefore they're all interacting with the Earth's field. And then around that we have our system boundary that shows that I'm looking at all of these objects as part of the same system. However, we could look at it in a different way. We could put that dotted line around just the street and the bike. We could look at that interaction. We could look at just Albert and the bike as an interaction. There's all kinds of ways we could break this down and look at the individual objects in different ways with their interactions and choose different kinds of systems. But in this case, everything is in the system, which means all of the energy transfers are in the system. And that's typically the simplest way to do it. And then the question about could any two objects be thought of as a single object and why? Some people might put one single line around Albert and the bike. Because what Albert does, the bike does. Albert affects the bike by pedaling the bike, so could be seen as 2 separate objects. But since where Albert goes, the bike goes, and where the bike goes, Albert goes, we could look at those 2 objects as one single object. So this is just, again, one example of how to use system schemas to represent the energy storage and transfer